Hi there, it's Byron Catoni from Water Filter World. Today I want to talk to you about double Bigblue systems. We've found that the trend has changed from previously it would have been people on tank water that used to put these in. Now we're finding more people on town water are putting them in than people on tank water. And I think the main reason being, well, there's a few reasons. Often these days people put shower filters on their shower recesses, and if you've got 2 or 3 showers, it can become expensive and it can become a bit of a hassle. They can look a little bit, funny on the wall if you've got nice fittings and fixtures. So these will filter all the water going through your house, including your showers, and of course for your laundry. If you tend to find you get a bit of sediment or staining in your laundry, you're certainly going to see a benefit there. The other big reason is that people often put a twin under-sink water filter in for their drinking, their cooking and their teas and their coffees. So by using the double Bigblue system, it eliminates all of that, even safe when you're brushing your teeth. Basically, how they work is you have a sediment filter that goes first in line that takes out dirt, dust and rust, followed by a carbon filter that travels second in line. Of course, you have a variety of carbon filters depending on the quality of the water that you want. Now, with the first canister, there's a few ways you can go for sediment filters. I'll grab a few as I'm going through this video. This is one of the most common sediment filters on the market. I suppose you'd call it a blown sediment filter. They call it a blown cartridge. They're not a bad cartridge, but you tend to find that the string wound cartridges not only last a lot longer, but they're a lot more solid. You tend to find that these sort of cartridges can eventually split and crack from pressure, or if they get overloaded with dirt. So I'll show you what the string wound cartridges look like. This is a string wound cartridge here. As you can see, they're strung wound right through. Very, very solid make. This is the sort of cartridge that we'd normally recommend, and they cost pretty much the same price that you'd expect to pay for the blown cartridges. There is another type of sediment cartridge that we use as well. It's called a pleated cartridge. So it's pleated much like a swimming pool filter, so that you can actually hose the material off and reuse the filter maybe 6 or 7 times. They're a little bit more expensive to buy, and we don't necessarily recommend them. We think the string wound ones would definitely be the best filters on the market, but there is an option there for people who would rather than have a disposable sediment filter, you can have your washable sediment filter. Second in line, you have the carbon filters. Now I'll give you an idea of how they work. This is what we call a granular activated carbon filter. So if you shake it, you can actually hear that on the inside there's granules of carbon. There's a lot of companies on the market that are selling this cartridge because they're very, very affordable, very cheap to buy. Now they don't have a micron rating, which means that it's certainly not safe when it comes to things like bacteria in the water. Really all they can do is take out taste, colour and odour. So they're not really a benefit on tank water at all, but they would be a benefit, I suppose, on town water if you're mainly interested in taking out your superficial things like taste, colour and odour. So that's a basic carbon filter, which is quite commonly sold. Then we have a very similar cartridge, except that it's extruded. So it's solid carbon block. So they can give you a micron rating. This particular one's 5 micron. Again, they're designed to take out chlorine, taste, colour and odour, which is pretty much similar to what the GAC does, or the granular activated carbon filter, except for the fact that because it's extruded carbon, it's impossible to get bypass. So with the granular activated carbon filters, I suppose the water runs through them like sand. You tend to find that it can quite easily find a path through the carbon and bypass, whereas with this sort of filter, there's no chance of that. Now the cartridge that we recommend, and always have recommended, is a top quality American cartridge made by Matrix. We call it our high grade filter. It's specifically designed to take out virtually all your chlorine, taste, colour and odour, which the other two do. But on top of that, you tend to find it is half a micron. So especially for removing Giardia and Cryptosporidium. So your tank water will be 100% safe to drink. You can't get a bug from the water if you've got one of these cartridges in line. Now as a bonus, you can use it on town water. They actually pull out most of your soluble lead from the water and other heavy metals. They're an expensive cartridge. They're about $229 for a filter vessel like this, as opposed to approximately $100 for one of your just plain taste, colour and odour ones. But you're really paying for quality. You're getting something that's all NSF approved. It's a top quality American made cartridge, and you won't have any issues drinking in it, showering in it, using it for whatever you need. And you tend to find you'll get about 12 months out of that filter. Now, at the moment, we've got a special on. We're offering under tank water packages on our sites, even though of course you can use it on town water. We're offering a double Bigblue system with the string wound cartridge, the high grade cartridge, the one that I just talked to you about, for $699. At that price, we're at least $240 cheaper than our closest competitor. So I suppose if it's something you've been thinking about, when you think about it, you could spend easily $300 or $400 on an under-sink water filter. For around about the $700 mark, you can filter all the water coming into your house. So definitely a big advantage, step ahead of the rest. Thank you.